Greetings, my name is Mike Mitri, and I'm the developer of a software application called Story Analyzer, which uses natural language processing and data visualization to demonstrate the maxim, a picture tells 1,000 words. Today, I'm going to show you my latest project with Story Analyzer, which is a dashboard that I call Trump and the Law, a blast from the past. What you're seeing right now is a website, my website, Story Analyzer's website. It's storyanalyzer.org. And as you can see, there are several dashboards and a few videos, and I invite you to look at those. What I'm going to focus on today is this dashboard right here, which I will click on and show you. And this is the one that is Trump and the Law, a blast from the past. And if I go there, you can see that there are four buttons at the top, and these four buttons refer to the different reports that I was working with. I used natural language processing to capture data from those reports. And you can also see 5 different word clouds. One word cloud contains all the law codes that are referenced in these reports. Another one contains the people who are at least somewhat prominently referenced in the report. Third, it has to do with criminal charges, and then a fourth has to do with titles and roles. And then a fifth has to do with key ideas and frequent phrases. And you're going to see what happens as I navigate through this. And at the top, you see with these buttons, if I click a button, say, for example, the Mueller report button, we can see who are the people involved, what were the laws involved, what criminal charges are involved, etc., having to do with the Mueller report. And I can do the same thing for the Ukraine impeachment report, and I can do the same thing for the January 6th report, and I can do the same thing for the indictments. And there are actually 3 indictments I'm looking at. 2 of them from Jack Smith, one, the Mar-a-Lago one, having to do with classified documents, a second one having to do with January 6th, and the third one having to do with Georgia charges that were brought about by Fannie Willis. And, if I just click all, everything is going to disappear here, but except for the fact that you see in red the people who have been charged with crimes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see a little. So now let's see what happens when we move the mouse around the word clouds here. And as I move my mouse around a word cloud, you can see that where the mouse is hovering, the word turns blue. And also you can see at the top, you can see where that word appears or that phrase appears in the different reports. So Gordon Sondland is in one report, the Ukraine impeachment report. Donald Trump obviously is in all of the reports. Also, Rudy Giuliani is in all of the reports. Michael Flynn is in a couple of reports. And we can say the same thing for different criminal charges. Here we have intimidation. Here we have fraud. Here we have riot, which is only in January 6th report, and one of the indictments, which happens to be Jack Smith's indictment having to do with January 6th. And we can see the same thing for the phrases and key ideas, and also the law codes as well. And some of the law codes appear in only one, and some of them appear in multiple as well. So that's what happens when we hover over a word in a word cloud. And next, we're going to see what happens when we click. So now let's see what happens when we click a word. And as I said, when you hover, you see it in blue. And let's go to the word riot, for example, which you see happens in both the January 6th report and in an indictment. And I'm going to click it. And you'll notice a few things happened here. A couple of things happened. One thing that happened is that this text box appears, and this text box is showing all the sentences that have the word riot in it, and I'll show you that in a second. And another thing that happens is that you'll notice that the names that the other words in other word clouds that are nearby the word riot in some document will appear in maroon. And you can see, obviously, that Donald Trump is one of them. Donald is happening in all over the place, but riot itself is only happening in a couple places. So nearby words or phrases from other word clouds will appear will appear in maroon when you click on a word in a word cloud. And so now if I look at the word where the word riot appears, we can see that it appears in the January 6th report. And notice this text box, I can move it around here and place it things. I'm just kind of I'm holding, oops, I just clicked it and it ended. So let me try this again. I'm going to select riot again, and I'm moving it around. And now I'm going to kind of scroll up and down, and all of these sentences have the word riot in it, all of these little text fragments. And we can see we have them from the January 6th report, and all the way down at the bottom, we have something from the indictments. And if I look at this, I can see that there's some color coding going on. The criminal charges are in red. And if I look at these things on the left, these things on the left are little abbreviations of the chapters within a report that they appear. APP is one of the appendices, and if I scroll down, we'll see other things as well, chapters and things like that. So, for example, if I wanted to go to this right here and see a little bit more about it, I can hover here, and I will see that this is chapter 6, and there are some fragments in chapter 6, and here's where these words appear, and you can kind of expand and see the text of that stuff. So that's the sort of thing that takes place when you have when you click on a word in a word cloud. And notice also that some of these have citations. So here's a citation here. This citation is to an endnote, and here's the endnote for that citation. So these are very meticulously researched reports, and there's all kinds of documented evidence for each of these statements that are taking place. And we'll take a little bit more look at some of that as we move forward. Now, as I said, when you select a word from the cloud, as I did with the word riot, and I'm just dragging, this is just dragging with the mouse here. When I select a word like riot, I will see in maroon the words that are close by, in sentences close by to that word. And for example, now I see that both Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump and a few other people in maroon there are fairly close by the word riot. Let's see what happens if I now select Rudy Giuliani. And what's going to happen if I select Rudy Giuliani is we're going to see the intersection of riot and Rudy Giuliani. Every place where you see riot and Rudy Giuliani together or close together. And let me click there. And here we have Rudy Giuliani and riot right here in this particular sentence. And again, we can go here and we can take a look and see what's happening in that around that sentence. So same sort of thing taking place here, but more focused, as you can see. So if I want to clear my selection, I'll go to what I had selected, which was riot, and I'll just click on it. And now everything is cleared, and we can look for something else. And I think what I'd like to do is look for this USC 371, which is down here. And you can see that USC 371, this is a law code. And it's a very common, these law codes are very commonly used in the legal profession. And this is 18 USC 371, and I'm going to click on that. And when I click on that, we can see again the folks who are close to it, and the criminal charges that are close to it, and the titles and roles that are close to it, etc. And once again, we see this color coding taking place in the text, the law codes are color coded in green, and of course the criminal charges here are color coded in red, and the people are color coded in blue, as you can see. And if I go, say, to the January 6th report, I can, well, let me move this a little bit, drag it down here. I can see what's taking place here as well. And it's the same sort of thing with the law code. So you can see what's going on. Law codes, people, criminal charges, other ideas, all linked together in this navigation that you can do through the document. Let me scroll up a little bit in this text box here, and you'll notice that the particular law code, USC 371, refers to conspiracy to commit offense or to defraud the United States. And I tried to put in links to the actual explanation of the law codes here. So let's try to click that link. And it takes us to Cornell Law School, where it describes what that's all about. And so you can get information about the law codes themselves when you're navigating through these documents. Notice that I can always just refresh the page. I'll just go to the URL bar here. I refresh the page. You can start all over again. So if things start looking weird, you can do something about that. And also say that I pick somebody. If I want to refresh that, I can just click that and it refreshes, and I can also go to all and things of that nature. So there's various ways to refresh things. I think I'm going to pick the January 6th report. And we see all of the items, the people, the titles, the criminal charges, the law codes, etc., that are involved in the January 6th report. And let me go to Donald Trump, and all of the words and phrases that are close to Donald Trump and the various reports appear. And the text is actually focusing on the January 6th report. And we can scroll down here and see, obviously, that he's all over the place. I'm going to scroll way down here. I'm going to go down into the chapters, and I'm looking for a particular citation that I'd like to show you. And that citation, a couple of citations maybe, are right here in this particular chapter one, these fragments of chapter one. And let's go to citation 241. I want to show you this because you'll notice that there is a web link in it. And let me click on the citation so it remains visible, and I can move that around just like I can move the other the other text boxes around. And if I click on this one, let's see if this link works. A lot of the links no longer work, but many of them do. And this has to shows about Georgia election officials showing frame by frame what happened in the surveillance video. And let's click on it. And there you have it. So you have evidence with links to different places as well. Let's see if we got another one here that works. This 242 one, I think, is a YouTube video. And I can go to that, and it looks like that's there as well. I'm not going to put the sound on, but let's take a look and see if it's there. And here it is. And it looks like it has, people talking and whatnot. So you have all of that evidence, external references that you can also go to as you're navigating through this document. Well, I hope you found this video to be informative, if not enjoyable. I don't think the material that it's presenting is particularly enjoyable. It's rather disturbing. And however, I do think the material, which came from the Mueller report, from the first House impeachment report, from the January 6th report, which led to Trump's second impeachment, and from three of his indictments, I think those are important documents. They're official government legal documents. They total over 1,500 pages in length. They have lots of sworn testimony, lots of evidence, lots of citations, thoroughly researched. And I think it behooves us to have some kind of an understanding of what was said in those reports because, as I said, they are predictors of what's going on right now. And as citizens, we should be paying attention to that sort of thing. And that's why I engaged in this project. Um, so thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day.